Welcome to episode 11 of 100 Songs, a channel where I reflect and discuss 100 songs from 100 different artists that I like an awful lot. This episode, we're going to talk about Godspeed You, Black Emperor, and a song, Sleep. I almost said Storm, because Storm is another fantastic song on that record. We're going to talk about Sleep from Lift Your Skinny Fists Like Antennas to Heaven, which came out in the year 2000, and that is shortly after that is when I discovered Godspeed You, Black Emperor. A band named after a Japanese movie about a biker gang called Black Emperors. I discovered them, I don't even remember how exactly. I want to say it was maybe in a record store, a local record store I used to go to all the time throughout most of my young life. I think that's where I heard it initially. They had really cool people with good music taste working there, and they would often play just really great stuff. And then I would ask them, hey, what are you playing? And then they would tell me, and for me it ended up being stuff that I would listen to forever, basically. It's pretty cool. Godspeed is, if you classify them, I mean, it's basically rock, but I think they're well known as being sort of among the best in post-rock. Big, long, orchestral type songs. They've got 7 records now at this point. They were formed in 1994 in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and their live performances are pretty epic. I've been lucky enough to see them twice after they had a pretty long hiatus. There's another album right after, or a couple years after, Lift Your Skinny Fists. And then they went on a hiatus of 8 or 9 years or so, and then did another tour in 2010, again in 2012, and then since since the hiatus have come out with another 4 albums, including one as recently as just 2 years ago in 2021. The live performances are pretty epic. I went twice. I saw them in Oakland, California, and I saw them at the Warfield in San Francisco. And they have a pretty large stage presence, but the whole concert's dark. You can barely see them playing, and they have a giant screen in the background that is looping film footage, and the film itself has, it has this melting appearance. They're pulling it through the light, and the heat starts to melt the image, and then they keep pulling it more. Anyway, the film looping and that effect is throughout the entire show. Meanwhile, they're playing on the stage in front of it, all 9 plus of them. Their lineup really ended up forming back in the day, from what I read, of just artists who wanted to perform, and they would sort of join the band and play. And then there was quite a lot of people in and out of the band in the mid to late 90s. They finally landed on a 9-piece band, basically, with 3 guitars, 2 bass guitars, 2 percussionists, a violin, and a cello. That's kind of I would say, the most popular lineup, or standard lineup. Godspeed, you get really lost and taken away by their music. It's pretty emotional for some people. I think people that are into Godspeed will sort of generate their own emotions or their own narrative or dialogue or experiences that have their own sort of soundtrack of their life, and it probably will obviously mean something different to everyone. Lift Your Skinny Fist, like Antenna to Heaven, I think is regarded as their best album. The first, it's fairly long. It's a two record LP. The first record, the first two songs, all the songs range from 19 to 23 minutes, I think. And the first two songs are a little darker. And I would say the next two songs after that are a bit more uplifting, although have an emotional tenet to them. So Storm is the first song and immediately sets the tone for the record, and it's fantastic. Static, similar, and then Sleep is song 3, or the first song on the second record, and it starts with some guy named Murray Austral, I think that's his name, lamenting. It's this old guy they interviewed randomly on the street, and he's lamenting about his time spent on Coney Island. And it's sweet, and it's the first couple minutes of the song, and then it goes into a second part called Monheim, and that's probably my favorite part of the song. It's the longest part of the song as well. And then part 3 is Broken Windows and Locks of Love, and it gets a little bit more uplifting again, and eventually goes into the 4th track. Phenomenal record. Definitely, if you want to get into Godspeed, you can listen to them in order. You can do whatever, but this is one that'll tell you if you can get into them or not. Definitely not for everyone. It's all instrumental. There are recordings, bits of field recordings and things taken from various places. It set the tone, and it's kind of adds to the atmospheric nature of it. Very progressive in their political, far left in their political leanings. A lot of anti-war, a lot of things, and it's hard to say really what each movement of each song on each album is about, because again, it's instrumental. So I prefer to just look at it as being whatever formulates in my mind at the time. And back then, when I was listening to them a lot, right after this album came out, I would go on these super long walks, and I lived by myself. I was in my late 20s, maybe I was just turning 30, and I'd go on these super long walks, and I had it down to where I would have a loop I would do, and I would end up back at my house right about as the album was ending. And then when the next record came out, I kind of started a routine with that one too. Became a big part of that time of my life, and I just think it's fantastic. So let's listen to a part of Sleep, and this is part of Broken Windows, Locks of Love, and it's just a little sample, obviously, of kind of what they're about. goes into a slower part, picks up again. All right, that's a good sampling. I think we got a little bit of violin there, more drums. There's percussion. There's lots of glockenspiel. Really good, great stuff. So let's take a look now at what our next video is going to be, and bring up the wheel. All right, The Past is a Grotesque Animal. Another great title to a song. So we're going to talk about Of Montreal and The Past is a Grotesque Animal in our next episode. So hope you have a good day, good evening, wherever you are, and thanks. See you next time.